Hey guys, Grifton here, and today we're going to talk about PvP gear in Phase 3. Now, if you like the content I'm putting out, you are welcome to sign up as a member to my channel and get early access to all of my videos. I have it as a minimum membership price available of 99 cents. If you don't want to pay, don't worry. All my content will continue to go public a day or two later, so don't feel obligated. I've just had people ask to donate, and this is what I came up with as a way of saying thanks for helping me out. Okay, but let's get into the gear itself. So with Phase 2, we had the 3 Bs. The boots, the belts, the bracers, and a lot of us also got the neck too in anticipation of the belt of 100 deaths. Now with Phase 3 there are even more choices, but also some harder decisions. So let's talk about some PvP choices. So this looks probably pretty familiar because it looks very similar to what we had last time. We had the 3 of each. We had the dragon hide and the leather. Now in my opinion, some of these are no-brainers. So when it comes to bracers, this is the first one I recommend no matter what. If you're going for PvP gear, get the bracers. They are really, really good, especially the Vindicator's Dragonhide bracers. If you're trying to decide between these two, I'm just going to save you the confusion. Grab the Dragonhide bracers. I'm going to explain why as well. So first of all, the Dragonhide sets have the boost armor, which is always good for your bear. The next thing is they also have more strength, which is going to convert into attack power, much better. So they have more attack power as well. Now, as far as the Dragonhide bracers, they also have the most resilience of the pair. This has 17, this has 15. I know it's only 2 resilience, but if you're trying to just get over that crit immunity, 2 resilience might be the game changer. On top of that, this has the red socket gem, which is going to make it easier for you to throw that 10 agi in there and call it a day. Whereas this leather bracers has the yellow socket. Now the Vindicator's leather do have more stamina. With the bracers, it's not that big of a difference. You're talking 33 versus 29. However, the belt and the boots, you're going from 42 all the way down to 49, which is 7. Still not that big of a deal personally to me, but if you're trying to make a decision and that's a factor, there's some information for you. Now, when it comes to the belt and the boots, I also want to point out that most people are going to be trying to wear the belts of 100 deaths. If you haven't gotten it yet, this might be a great place to grab it, but I would recommend continuing to try to get belts of 100 deaths. It's just that good. But if you are also, getting the boots, this is something you want to consider depending on what you plan to wear. So there are a couple boots, the Shadow Master's boots and the Treads of the Dead Mother are the 2 really good ones coming out in Phase 3. However, if you plan to swap to those, you need to have a game plan for when you put those in, where you're going to get the resilience from. The boots are going to be fine for now, and they're actually solid boots too, so don't feel like you need to swap them out. But if you are, you're going to want to look at some other pieces, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Just like a quick wrap up of these, I would recommend going with the Dragonhide bracers and probably the Dragonhide for everything, but definitely the bracers. So if you had to choose, I'd go bracers. Okay, now let's talk about the neck. This is pretty much a pure upgrade from the Veteran's Pendant of Triumph. It's got stamina, yellow socket, crit, resilience, attack power. I don't know if I have that on. No, I don't. Hold on, you can do there. A little bit more stamina, same socket. It's got a little bit more crit, the exact same amount of resilience, and a little bit more attack power. So it's just a pure upgrade. Honestly, if you don't upgrade this, I don't think anyone will even notice. You're talking 4 stamina, a little bit more crit, and a little bit more attack power. But if you can afford it, go ahead and get this upgrade. Okay, and onto the finger, which we didn't talk about in Phase 2 because usually you didn't have to go that far into resilience gear in order to be resilience capped, but with the belt and the boots, you're starting to push into more off pieces. Okay, now I'm not 100% sure this is the way to go, but I do want to share this because it is something worth considering. So the Vindicator's Band of Triumph, pretty much you would swap this out for maybe the Violet Signet of the Great Protector. However, by doing that, you're losing a ton of armor, and I do mean a ton of armor, like 2,000 armor in order to put on a little bit more, actually a little less stamina, and get a little bit more crit immunity, which is nice, and it's going to create some threat, which is probably the main reason you want to do this. 44 attack power, a little bit of armor pen, and some crit compared to a pure defensive ring might be a choice. Now, looking at Phase 3 with the hard-hitting physical damage dealers of the bosses, if you're main tanking, I don't know if this is the greatest choice, especially early on, because you probably are going to want a lot of armor for these ones. So maybe hold this back or just use it for trash, things like that. It's your choice. But an alternative, instead of just dropping the Violet Signet and putting the Vindicator's Band, if you want a little bit more crit immunity out of this, you could actually look into, it's called the Seal of Danzler, which actually drops now in phase 2 from the Lurker. So it doesn't have as much armor as the Violet Signet, but it does have some armor, and it's still going to be a better armor swap if you're trying to swap out. On top of that, it's got one less resilience than the Vindicator's Band of Triumph, so it's still going to be good, and it still has decent stamina, 33 stamina, which is comparable to the Vindicator's. It's a little less than the Violet Signet, but it would be if you're really close to that crit cap and you just can't push over, maybe swap for that or give yourself a little bit more to work with. Okay, so we're past the rings, so we've done the clothing, the neck, the ring. There's only one piece, and it's actually not on here. I have not been able to confirm this is coming out in phase 3. However, it's looking like it's going to, and that item is called I'm going to put it on the screen. It's called the Battle Master's Determination. Now, it's actually got some decent stats. It's got 80 attack power, plus it has a mitigation effect of a last stand for 1750, which is the current highest, I believe, in the game right now. However, if you're looking for 1750, you could actually consider going for the Shadow Moon Insignia, which is in phase 3, which also has that 750. It comes with defense and dodge. So if that's something you really want, you can get it other places. And the attack power, compare it to Brooch, which has 72 attack power. You're losing 8 attack power, and you're getting an on use from the Brooch. I honestly don't think this is going to be that big of a deal. I don't know, maybe other people see it differently. I personally won't be getting this. Again, I cannot confirm it's phase 3 either, so we're just going to assume for now it's not. And on top of that, it's very expensive, 30,000 honor and 4 Alterac Valley Marks of Honor. It's not cheap. Now, that's actually a good segue into the last point, which is, I'll put this up on the screen here, the cost of all of these. So if you assume you can get all the marks, because really these marks aren't that hard to get, if you just look at the wrist, the waist, the feet, the neck, and the finger, if you're going for all of these, you're not going to be able to, because if you add all these up, it actually goes to 78,000, and you can only have 75,000. So yes, once the season drops, you can grab an item from here. You can then, farm more honor and get the next piece. But honestly, if you want to prepare for a first day raid, you're going to have to make a choice on which ones you want. Now, I recommend this order of priority: wrist, neck, feet, finger, waist. Honestly, if you've got Belt of 100 Deaths, just skip the waist. You're never going to wear it. When it comes to the feet, you'll probably wear this at least until you get your Shadow Masters, which again is in Black Temple, and it's likely a couple weeks out, so that won't be too much of a loss. The finger is a choice you'll have to make, whether or not you want to do that swap. I'm still on the fence about it because I do have Danzler, so I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, I would definitely get the wrists without a doubt, and I would definitely get the neck without a doubt. As far as the feet go, again, it's going to depend on if you need it or not. I'm hoping to not need it. And then, yeah, finger and waist. So anyway, that covers all the PvP gear. That shows you the price, the cost, and you could do your own calculations on what you're going to end up getting and needing. And I definitely recommend, if you haven't started farming PvP, get on it. Like, I personally, I'm only at 25,000 honor. I have been really busy and not been able to run a lot of PvP lately, so my main focus for the next couple weeks, if it's not the PTR, is going to be PvP. I'm hoping to get this to around 45 so that I can get the wrist, the neck, and then maybe one more piece if I decide to get the feet. Anyway, guys, I hope this information was helpful. I hope it at least painted a clearer picture of what PvP gear is going to look like in Phase 3. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the comments. And as always, guys, take care.